last week. The demos, we talked about 9.0, we talked about doing a release. Today, day 11.19. Demos?
Not this time, but I hope next week we'll have an awesome demo by one of our colleagues, but not now.
You're biased and you're nice, so I will,
a little bit.
I will be the judge of the awesome demos. Topics, we have the release, we see PRs, items, have net9, let's talk about net9. Vicky is not here, so no harvest. And I say Vicky, oh my God, it's Victoria, who am I? Updates. So what happened this week? I know that on Orchard 1, maybe they took some drill or something. And 12 here. So PR was merged, a very old PR, but merged by Benedek. Add AutorouteSettings.AllowSetAsHomePage to control whether a user can set a content to display on a home page. AllowSetAsHomePage on part setting. Is it per part or is it global? Global. Yeah, it's global, so you can hide the set as on page option. I believe in OrchardCore, it's in the part settings that we have there. Benedek, this is just commits. This is not yet working on styling, making things better. Some issues. So there are 2 active PRs apparently. So we'll see when they are merged, what they are about. But lots of activity from Benedek. Nice. OrchardCore. Can I hide and just show main 12 from here maybe? Probably. So that's this one. Remove unnecessary usings. Oh, that's new. This must be super useful. No, this is just that when using the .NET 9 SDK, we see those warnings. So they were ported to the main branch. Then so remove necessary command from view imports. So view imports, all the view imports, they have that. What was that? For more information, enabling MVC for anti-project. Oh, this is just a standard header from an MVC view. Okay. Remove extra semicolon on OpenIdServerSettings.cshtml. Okay. Remove necessary WriteTo in FludiValue subclasses. Yes, because we pushed a change information with that allowed that yeah, that made this method not mandatory. It's not abstract anymore, it's virtual, and by default it does nothing because we implement the WriteTo async one. So this has been removed. And sham. Fix JSON dynamic object usage in Liquid. JSON dynamic object usage in Liquid. Why is that familiar? Oh, because I worked on this PR. Okay, I'm right. I know that because my team made a PR and I found. Oh no, I know. My team find an issue and then provide the PR with a test failing to show the issue. Beautiful. I love this PR. This way, I could enhance the PR with the fix of the test that was in this PR. And the fix was, so the test is that if you have some liquid and you access the model, which is a content item, when you do .content on the content item, you get a dynamic object, like an expander object. And this means that this object property is dynamic, and then it will fail. So, no, it's not dynamic, it's returned as a JSON dynamic value because George made these changes a while ago, right, George? That you fixed all of these that were returning dynamic, now they return a JSON dynamic value. And
yeah,
you can
sounds
access.
Familiar. Yep.
Yeah, it's all the behavior that JSON.NET had. Now you made it available in system text JSON for us at least. So we had that, and since then you could not, in Liquid, these properties, they are not understood. In Liquid, we understand the JSON objects, but we don't understand this custom JSON dynamic object that is now returned to be able to handle it correctly. And because of that, I added this thing, which is whenever you find a JSON dynamic object and you try to access a property named name, then use the indexer to access it, because the JSON dynamic object has an indexer. And the second thing is whenever you have a JSON dynamic value, like a string property of an object, whenever you try to access it, to get the value, get the node and call getObjectValue. And you see before we had that for JSON value and JSON object, but we had it for JSON dynamic object, but we didn't have it for JSON dynamic value. And maybe JSON dynamic value was added after JSON dynamic object, and we didn't have anything for that. So that's fixing. And we have a test, so we won't forget about it next time. Yeah, okay, cool.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Fixing that the agency landing page randomized to correctly, because this is some HTML code. It was encoded again, so you would see the HTML you type, which is safe, right? But now we don't want to be safe. We know that it's HTML, so let's write the HTML. So we use bypro. So we keep the HTML, and the other templates already have that. Fix warnings, same thing, because we added more stuff. In the main branch with issues, we had to fix it. Correctly create custom analyzer in Elasticsearch. Some issues with the way properties were loaded from JSON and the reflection, so Mike fixed that. Yeah, we looked at it together, I think, or during triage, I don't know, last week. And then, so yeah, this is so Elasticsearch configuration. can be placed in our own app settings. Something like this, okay? So this code is actually looking at this type of configuration, which is elastic configuration. We don't have, there is a schema for that, but we don't have it. And the idea is that when you find the name of a token filter or an analyzer, the code here will find the correct C# type for this token filter or this analyzer, and then instantiate it and initialize this new instance with the properties from the configuration. So it's exactly like JSON deserialization, but we need a hook to match a filter name with an actual type. Okay, so this is what the collection at the top is here. You see this collection here, which is pink because it has been replaced by a different collection, but that's the idea. You have a name and this is a type. Okay, so this is the hook. And so this is very close to JSON deserialization. And so the code here is doing JSON deserialization, literally. But then we looked at the code from Elasticsearch for this kind of thing. So let's take a look at it. Manager. Let's take a look at, I want to filter the one we just saw, the English one. Is that there?
No, because you're looking at the type. So there's a type, I think it's called, was it stop?
Yeah, but I was expecting to see the value in the string.
Yeah, it would be the value from the type. So you will look for stop.
Okay.
English stop is your ID. Yep. So you'll see stop.
Oh, it's just an ID. Oh, sorry, it's just my own name. Okay. So stop token filter. And if we go on Elasticsearch, stop token filter, let's do a query. Elasticsearch.net, this one. Look at that, a .g.cs. .g.cs means code is generated. Okay, so they generate the code. And the code looks like this. Stop token filter, my token filter. And it has, so if I go back to the so the stop filter has a stop words. And here we say the stop words would have the English property. I hope this is the one. And we have stop words here. Okay. So what's happening is, oh, as I'm reading, I'm remembering, and that's beautiful, actually. Love it. Love this kind of puzzles. So stop words is here a string. Okay. And what we have here is stop words is a collection of strings. So somehow in our code, we need to say if there is a string here, we need to create a collection of strings and put it in the stop words property. And this thing here does that. This code, this is part of why we need this code, because there is some weird stuff here. You see, if property equals stop words, if the value we have in the JSON is an array, let's do that. Otherwise, let's do that. And what it's doing is that if it's an array in the JSON, we deserialize the array and assign the property to a new stop words property value. If it's a string, we set with a new stop words, but with a string value. Actually, this code has changed. I think in here it's a little bit simpler. That's what might be also part of this PR. But here, so what's interesting is that, okay, so we have to handle some special cases because it's a collection. But if you look there, there is an attribute on the property which is called single or many collection converter. And what is a converter? This is something from system text JSON serialization. We have a lot of them already in our own code. So this thing is actually doing the job of checking if the value is an array or a string, and then assigning the correct collection of items to the property. If it's a string, it will create a new collection. If it's a list of string, it will just assign the list of string there. So this converter already does that. So you're like, but can't we just then get an instance or ask JSON deserializer to take this JSON here and just, hey, give me a stop filter from this property. And Mike did that, but he could not do it yet because this thing is only in the new library Elasticsearch.net and not in the old library that we are using, which has the same class, but not the support for system text JSON, which is Nest. Nest hasn't been updated in 3 years. And for fast forward this PR, Mike did another one. To not use Nest, but to use the new Elasticsearch.net client. And hopefully, Mike, I didn't look at it, but I hope that now it's using JSON deserialization.
Yeah, of course.
What's the name of the class?
You can look at the index manager.
It's the index manager. And then there's only one thing. That's the, oh, this is folded. Okay. So we have a string and just a type now, because we don't need a lambda to create an instance. We just need a type because the JSON deserializer just takes a type. To look into it. I want to see the name of the thing, token filter getter, probably different name now. Type bar, we have the type, toObject, filter.value.toObject, filter being probably the thing we have in our configuration. ToObject this type, and that's it. We just give the JSON and say the type you want, and automatically we don't by Elasticsearch.net because this is the same format as the configuration they want. That's beautiful. Less code, faster, nicer. So this PR isn't green, but oh yeah, so I did a PR because it's a breaking change because we are exposing this library. So we can't ship it in a 2.0 version. If we don't want to break anyone, we should provide it in the 3.0. That's why it's a PR and not get merged. So that's it. So fix first this issue in the PR and then this next one, which will remove the old client for the new client. Good job. But that's very interesting to see that we were doing some extra code and now it's just looking at the source, we see that we can leverage what they are doing. That's nice. This one, introducing OrchardCore rule on grid-based I/O. So this PR is just to mention the fact that there is a service that uses our data to provide some search. And if we go there, I tried it last week. So for instance, how to hide. Okay. What is, look at that. What is the template name for an article content type? What is this template name for? Let's try it. It says content-article.cshtml. And the shape is content_article. You can also define templates for specific types like content summary article for summary views. Perfect, right? And it says where it got the data from. So that's nice. So instead of searching for keywords and hoping we find a good thing, we can just type sentences and it will give us the thing. And I think, so can it be clever like,
yeah, I tried it. So try something like, can you create permission provider for me.
Okay, I will do that, and then I want
And
how to hide the content part. Flow part.
I don't see the mention on the README. I thought we added it to the README.
I think that's the PRI. So no.
I thought it was.
There should be a badge at the top. Yeah,
Where is that? Or maybe it doesn't work, but we'll look at the website.
it's there.
It's working. Well, it shows me, at least it extracts some things from the placement configuration and it explains what the placement file is and hiding the flow part. And that's correct. This is correct. This is beautiful because it tells you that this is the index in the placement. This is how to hide, and this is to filter on a content type. So that's great.
Unfortunately, this is great. Height could be even greater. Would be if it were if it were to also process the code, like all the examples in all the modules and the unit tests and whatnot. Unfortunately, it's not processing that yet, but that's an open feature request. So currently, it's only the documentation and a couple of other sources.
Yeah, that's still great because it means that we can just throw data to the doc even if they are not organized correctly. Because yeah, some things they are cross-cutting. Like we need to talk about placement everywhere, and then you ask a question and it will gather everything. And I think that's nice. So for instance, if we keep providing doc with the list of subclasses and what they do, or templates, samples, a little bit everywhere, then it will just enrich that. So your example, Mike, what you said was also nice.
Yeah, I mean, you can just ask it. I think it actually is, it is aware of some of the code, not just the docs, I don't think.
So implement what? For
Like
instance?
implement a permission provider. I don't think we have that in the docs.
At least they said that it's not processing the code, just the documentation side. So why the repository is added is also just for documentation, just for the Markdown files.
It's not just our doc, it's also Lombik's doc.
Yeah, was a somewhat into 2 pages.
That might explain why we think we don't have that in the doc, Mike, but it's actually in Lombik, and I will show you. I'm glad that it's still implementing the interface and not the base class. So it's a clever AI.
Is it?
Oh, it is even registering. Do we have an add permission provider? But
Yes, we
actually
do.
But Lombik doesn't document that, so it's still beautiful. It's nice. Simple. That's great. It's more than what you asked for, but it's explaining why we need that, how to use it. I think it's even better because you just take that if you want, but if you want to drill down, yeah. So that's great. Or maybe it's just copy pasting Lombik's documentation. Oh, step 1, step 2, step 3. Oh, boom. Cool. So let's see. So next time someone asks a question, we try to paste it there just to see if it works. So why did I choose the placement thing? Because someone asked on the issue about how do they hide a flow part name blah in their stuff.
If you
open
up a chat AI, if you go chatgpt.com and just ask it a similar question, how to create permission provider for OrchardCore, and it will actually create a one without, that, which is the same thing. So I think it's more of a public knowledge.
Yeah, because the websites, our doc, Lombik's doc, YouTube, everything. So yeah, that's it. And probably ChatGPT also looked at the code.
Yeah.
I can't use these tools here because it's using Microsoft Copilot, so it also uses Microsoft data. So I can't use that. Yeah. So what I can show is that, so I was doing some refactoring on Aspire, and I was doing some repetitive tasks. And like, for instance, I copied, pasted some code, and all the private readme, they were under the property. And I asked Copilot, move all the private properties at the top of the class. And it did that. I'm like, what? Like, I could say, you see something here. So I will say, remove the readme operator of the fields. And choose me what it will do. And you see here, it's removing these readme operators. And then I can accept it will do that. But I did more complex things than that. So yeah, that's super powerful. Right. Okay. So going back there, code guru committed usable. Add to the contributor, optimize the recyclable memory stream usage. Yes, okay. So this user who actually find an issue suggesting we should use RecyclableMemoryStream, which we did, and then we merged our PR and we found some things to optimize. We found some other things, but actually they were not optimizing, so we didn't take it. But this one is doing it. This one is better. Well, this one is the same as getBuffer actually. Well, this one is better. It can just be better because it's just returning us a list of readme spans, because this class accepts that. And I didn't know when we implemented it with Mike, all these things with RecyclableMemoryStream. We tried to optimize all the usages of UTF-8 with these things, but we didn't see that there was an overload that was taking a read-only sequence. And I mentioned it in the PR, but let's look at the PR one because I put a link there. 17.0W. I stop sharing. I click on the link very close to that. Well, it's not true. What's there? Conversations. What are the conversations? Oh, it's a new PR. I put some comments. It's broken. Is it broken?
Encoding get string.
Yes, because UTF-8 is just a property. Thank you. It's string, and can I say read on that? So where are all the ones? It's in the buffer. Namespace. Does it show it? Buffer namespace. We don't span. It's not clever enough. I need less clever. This one. Something like that. Internal. Public. But this is .our. So there is one. And it's not this one. Is it? Oh, this is this one. No, this is try. Why can't I find it? So there are a bunch of extension methods on the get string that takes some other arguments. So that's what I wanted to see. But if we follow that, maybe we could see all the ones with an F12. So there are a bunch, but I didn't know about that because the extension methods, they are kind of hidden if you don't import the correct namespace. So it's sad, but there are lots of ways to make it better. And I'm sure we are missing some of them. But that's a good catch from Adam. Fix public content task. So see, follow up from someone who found an issue and we found the solution together, but then the PR could not be merged because they didn't accept the CLA. Because it's easier for a company to use Orchard, that is free and open source, than to contribute to Orchard, freely and open source. So this is a change. Just check for has draft and also set a flag latest when we load an entity. We validate it in the PR view. So I created a new PR to unblock the PR CLA. Show remove field and part button when it is not system defined.
Here there was an incorrect value. You see this, the first one, the check. It's the wrong check. So that was fixed, and then Zoltan and also Hisham mentioned that maybe we should add like a disabled button so people know why you can't delete it. So I also added a button or with a toggle, so you can actually see the disabled button and you can say, if you click it, it will tell you can't delete it because it's a system.
Okay, and if you hack the CSS and
you'll get an
click the
exception.
button, it will fail. Okay, on the server side vibration. PollingTime and MinimumIdleTime to background service option. Whoa. So we had these properties which were set in stone. And now we have options that patch us better. I do something while the spiral is open here. I will show you something. Let me show you something. I take this in. So let's say you have some constants in your code, like like this, okay? Some default values. So let's say you have some default values. And you want to expose these default values in the documentation, in the code comments, because when we hover the PollingTime, yeah, you're like, okay, what's the default? What if you don't set anything? What's the default value? You have to look in the source code, but it would be better to show it in the comments by saying the default value is blah, blah, blah from minute 1. But then you change the default value, you have to change the comment. So to link the two of them, you can do something like this. Use summary or use remarks, whatever you want. And on a constant or whatever property, you define the same value here in the comments. And then where you use that, let me show you this. When you use the property tag, the property that you have defined some summary here, you say inherit doc and you point to the property, and this thing here will be replaced by the documentation on this property. So if you hover the @sec, okay, so that's an issue on this branch, which hasn't been merged, but I will show you with the correct thing. If you then hover, then you see I can't move my my mouse because I will use a tooltip, but in the middle it says this version of the package defaults to the 2024.3. So the 2024.3 is this value. It's actually this comment here, which has been injected there. And something I learned yesterday is that you see the mistake I did here because these summaries here, they are incorporated from a remarks, so it doesn't work. When you are in remarks, the inherit doc will look for the remarks doc here, but it's in summary that I want to do. So apparently there is a path and you can say /summary, save, and it will still work. So if I type something else, you don't see it. It says defaults to the tag, but if I type summary, it says defaults to the tag 2024. So very super neat trick that I learned about that and I did that in Inspire, but these things was explained by David Pine yesterday. So very nice. Okay. Actual fix would be to have all of these to be remarks. But, so just FYI, if you want to do such thing as commenting and also referencing a default value, then we can just create a private constant default value like it was before, actually, like this, and reference it in the documentation as the default value. So this one could have been called default polling time, and we could have used it here and in the comments, such that when we hover the property, we know what is the default value. Tip of the day. But this feature is nice. So now we can configure these things. Something else also. That is rated. So here you see the time spans, how we encode it. 000100, nobody. Well, at least I don't know if you can. But when you see something like this, and I ask you what's the time, the duration you represent, is it seconds, days, minutes? I mean, I don't know how to format it. Like, okay, that's 1 minute and that's 10 seconds. I know it because I just saw it, but otherwise I would not be able to read or write the string representation of a time span. And there is a standard format. How is it called? Duration, ISO, time span. PT, okay, this one. When you sometimes you will see some things like PT20S, okay, 20 seconds, and you can do 20 M for minutes, year, week, day, okay, so yeah, that's actually better to read HMS, so that's actually easier to read, and that's a standard also, but it's not supported by .NET. So ideally, what we would like to see in configuration to make it nicer is this format. In this case, PT1S, or sorry, 1 minute, and PT10S, just to say 10 seconds. That would be nice. And that's not supported by System Text JSON yet. It might be supported in the future. Sometime. That's not what I want. What's the thing here? What's the ISO? This one, ISO 861. And this one. No, not this one. There must be an issue with that. Can't find it. So sad. But I'm sure there is one. Other type PT, there is no way. Now, maybe that's unrelated. well, doesn't matter. But if you want to support that, there is XML.convert, also timespan. Here you see XML.to timespan. We can convert. There is XML convert that supports that back and forth. So that could be nice in case we want to support that one day, or if you do that in your code, XML.convert. There, and new contributor, Adam, for this PR. Cool. Topics, questions, comments?
I think we agreed we need to release 2.1 because it's ready. But what's the next release? I think we when me and you chatted, we're thinking about releasing 3.0 after we migrate the graphical PR, or hopefully once it's completed. So is that something we want to discuss?
So 2.1 for sure, we agreed we can ship, and we have a PR. So this one is nothing again, or isn't it fixed?
What is this? I don't know. I think this will actually be fixed. Because I actually encountered this issue with the existing nest. So I think it's a bug in nest somewhere. So I'm guessing this is also related, but I don't know for sure.
It's like a bug. It's missing some information.
Yeah, even though the index is actually provided and it's not null, it still think it's null. So it's missing somewhere. We probably have to set it in a couple places, and it's only set one place or something. But since we're going to drop that library altogether, I'm not going to waste time with it.
But we can't ship a 2.1 with a bug. It's likely.
Well, this one has always been an issue. It's not new. And I don't know why it's tagged with 2.1. Did I tag it with 2.1? Oh, no, you did. Yeah, I wouldn't tag it with 2.1.
How do you recall that?
You can try doing what I did, which is creating.
So where are you tweeting?
Right there.
When using Elasticsearch, right? Okay, sorry. So this is the query. Nice to make it a test. Oh, but we don't have tests for Elasticsearch. Is it an exception from the library, right? So maybe we could still do a test, even if there is no endpoint for Elasticsearch. We might find it before. Yeah, the question is that new? If it's a new bug introduced into one, no, you can't do
It's
that.
not. It's not, and that's why I say don't tag it with 2.1 because it's not. It's 2.x or 3. I can reproduce it with the 3.0. So that's a good thing, but I just don't know what is actually causing it. I didn't spend a lot of time digging into it.
Index name resolver. Library. Need to call that this one. Okay, so we have that. There is one Is there a PR right now?
No, maybe I'll
So
try
PR,
spending time there.
changing all the versions and setting the translation version, which has been updated. I'm not an expert anymore, but it was an intentional action. I don't disagree there with that because we don't just have CMS modules. But at some time now it's doing .all. So should we split .all also in .core and .modules then? CMS and then that will fix all the issue. I will have a comment. I was going back on the release. So yes, branch to one release and then fix the version, update translation, and start the shipping process to one. Then after we have the .NET 9, we have GraphQL, we have graphical, not graphical in this case, it's GraphQL. And the other one, Elasticsearch. So Elasticsearch made the PR, so that's good. Why we mention Elasticsearch and GraphQL is because we have many PRs with breaking changes. So if we want to merge them, it needs to be in the 3.0. .NET 9 we said was not a breaking change, so we could ship it as a 2.2. But if we say we intend to ship a 3.0 with breaking changes soon, then we could just also ship .NET 9 if it's not too far away. 3.0 is resetting breaking changes. And when we say breaking changes, it might not break you, just that, yes, these are breaking changes, but it probably won't break you. It's just binary compatibility is broken. So you can't just drag and drop the TLLs in place and it will work. You have to recompile and fix the real issue if you have some. You are not supposed to use also the same client. Maybe you are, but of Elasticsearch, same thing for GraphQL. You don't have to implement GraphQL, but you might, so it might be broken. So these ones, so this one and the GraphQL PR which exist will be broken. This one, but this one is stuck because there are some data that don't pass. I tried to look at it at some point, but I didn't understand what had to be changed, so it's not easy. But yeah, that's the PR that we need also to finalize to ship in the 3.0.
So the in graphical, they introduced a breaking change, but it wasn't documented. I actually pinged them and they documented it. So finally, it's actually documented their breaking change. So it kind of makes a little more sense now. But we need to set the type somehow. I'm not very familiar with the implementation of graphical or GraphQL enough to know. So I would have to do a lot of digging. But you see how the resolve type It has to be set. That's what.
Yeah, and we run the test,
Before.
we see there is one missing or something is not reset correctly. So it can build, but it doesn't work. That's the issue. Yeah, so we agree that we should ship a 3.0 when we have all the expected breaking changes ready. So we don't ship a 3.0 and the week after a 4.0 and so on. If this doesn't progress, then we could ship .NET 9 as a 2.3, just an incremental update.
Should we create a new branch at some point for like 4 or 3.0
Yeah,
and
you
start
can.
merging stuff into it? And then after that, we can take that and merge it to main whenever we're ready.
You can. That's fine. Later release 3.0 branch, so you can merge the PRs for 3.0 or any change that is a breaking change that you only want to see in 3.0. The only issue is that we also need to merge main into this branch regularly to pick up the new changes in main and ensure we are not diverging too much and ensure that the final merge won't be a big issue. Problem being that now you fix a bug in Nest and you merge it back to the 3.0 branch which has Elasticsearch, then there will be conflicts and you have to ignore them. So that is some work.
Yeah, that's a lot of work
sync.
for sure.
Maybe that won't be much work, but at least you can get your PRs merged. And this way you don't have to care about, oh, you changed main and you broke my PR, right? It's no more your responsibility to have your PR up to date. It's the 3.0 branch responsibility to be compatible with main.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, if the graphical is ready or GraphQL gets ready, then we'll decide that, hey, we're just going to start working on 3.0 and just merge directly to main, probably better or easier. So we
yeah,
don't have
but
to
right now
monkey
we are
around.
far from there. Like, so if tomorrow GraphQL is ready, we don't merge it. So I think it's fine to start a 3.0 branch if we already have breaking changes we want to make it. But not everything, because if we start applying all these breaking changes in 3.0, then we will never be able to merge main because our main is stuck. So it has to be very specific work, like big features, GraphQL, Elasticsearch, or another big change that is not impacting the whole source base, like, oh, let's put everything private sealed now, right? Because that will break every PR. Even if it's a breaking change on the 3.0 branch, we won't be able to merge main anymore. Very sure.
Yeah, maybe there is, maybe it's just extra work for nothing. Like putting into a new branch, maybe it's not, great idea.
Maybe, but it's up to you if you want to have this branch open with Elasticsearch.
The only reason, if we need to create a new branch, the only reason why is to ship actual nightly changes or nightly packages, but I don't think we need to.
Not to.
Yeah, otherwise, the PRs can just sit.
Yeah, so ideally,
whenever ready.
Ideally, GraphQL should be worked on to be able to ship 3.0. And then we can decide to add more breaking changes in the 3.0 to use this ship as a way to add more things. But 2.1 is ready. And then 2.2 could be just net 9.0. I'm fine with just shipping week after week, like 2.1 contains fixes and 2.2 contains net 9.0. You can update to 2.2. You just need to have the SDK 9.0 SDK installed. That's the only requirement. Everything else will work. At the same time,
it's a good idea, I think, because then you can get all the fixes in DD 2.1. You don't have to update your environment.
Yeah, you're sure it's not breaking at all anything, binary-wise, everything. So yeah. But then 3.0 will be net 9. You won't have a choice, and that's not the only. But that's not a big deal. It's not like we are breaking everything. It's just progressive enhancements. And even if we ship like a major release every month, it's just, yes, there is a breaking change. It might not break you, but technically there is a breaking change, so we have to bump the major version. No, these are version, whatever, 20, Java is 21, because that's what they do. They don't care about bumping the big version. It's just to tell people, hey, be careful, there might be some work, but might be that Nothing to do. Opt-in. Okay. 2.1. Let's skip it, and then probably GraphQL won't be fixed by 2.2, so there will be a 2.2. And we can look at 3.0.
Did you originally implemented the GraphQL?
Yeah, I worked on
You did?
the thing, yeah. And yeah, I remember some of the issues, so I worked on it. But then the main developer was it Danny? No, remember, help me, Zoltan, the owner of patient.info.
Zoltan left.
Oh, Zoltan, no. Oh, I see. Oh, patient.info. What?
I know George worked on the few PRs that are related to GraphQL too.
Yeah, some minor stuff.
Minor,
I'm
okay.
currently working on fixing the localization
Carl was the
GraphQL
name.
schemas.
That's important. But it's been a while, so it doesn't remember the issue. Like I don't.
Yeah, it will be nice for someone whoever worked on it the most to be able to just go and upgrade it. Because if, like for me, I would need to dig in a lot and to understand what's happening before I can fix those issues.
I would have a suggestion, which is don't look at Orchard implementation. Let's just look at the documentation GraphQL, how to extend the schema and how to provide custom providers, just to understand what the GraphQL type is. And then you might understand how it works in action. You won't.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, there has been a lot of changes, and some stuff in Orchard is really old and doesn't reflect the most recent ways to do it.
I didn't think it was you who created this PR.
Oh, I created it. I did a lot of work on it, but I just, and then I ran into an issue where it doesn't make sense. I pinged the owners of that project and they're like, okay, we'll update our document. And they update their document with the breaking change because it wasn't documented. So they had a breaking change that wasn't documented.
Ping Tony.
Yeah, I did a while ago. He's like,
Okay.
I'm busy. So
Send him some money.
I guess one of us will have to do it.
It's always one of us. Why can't it be everyone else?
What is it?
It's always one of us.
I know.
We need more us. We need more us.
Yeah, it's really tough when you have a lot of work to do and you have to do this and.
The crowdfunding family. The people to do that. Keep power. Okay. I have plenty of PRs. I don't remember what I did there. Oh, we didn't talk about my beautiful PR here. It's the best thing. But this one, I did it manually. This one, the don't notch one. This one is beautiful. Look at that. It's updating the packages. Isn't it beautiful? It's clever.
What is it? Is that the bot, the automatic?
It's like Dependabot. That doesn't work, but it's a script. It's a GitHub action. And the GitHub action does check out the repository, install the tool called .NET Outdated Tool, .NET Tool, and then it says run .NET Outdated, saying don't touch the major version, output as markdown, and then this is the file it generates. And then I say, if in the output you find no outdated dependency validated, then you do nothing. Otherwise, you say true, updated. And then if updated is true, meaning it updated some files, then look at that. It's saying, let's create a branch that updated. Let's commit the changes with this message. Let's push the branch on Orchard and create a PR for this branch to main. And this is a title, and this is, and add the markdown that the tool generated as the body file.
Will
And
it
you
fail
you get this
if this one run and create that branch, and then it runs again before we merge the first time? Will it break because that branch, it can't create a new branch?
Yes. So I thought about that, but I didn't care right now. So what we could do is, instead of checkout-p, just try to get the existing branch and then update it. Or just, if the branch exists, then don't run, because maybe we changed it. Or if there were no changes, like, okay, update it. Otherwise, don't change it because we updated something. Like, oh no, let's not take that. And for instance, what I did here in the command line, I say upgrade, and I said exclude the ASP.NET Core dependencies and this one, because these are not actual versions. They are just a placeholder with a variable, right? So we should not remove the variable, and otherwise it will try to remove the variable. See these ones here? It will try to update them, which could be fine. We could remove the variable, but I said exclude them for now. So we update them manually, the version of ASP.NET and so on. But yeah, so to your point, yes, we could improve that to say, check if the branch exists or not before creating it, or create a new one, or update the existing one. So it's just changing the script here. I mean, the script already works, so I'm kind of happy with that. And it can run a schedule when it's merging main. So for now it's just blocking because I just wanted to test it. And if we want to do the same thing for npm, well, we can have the same copy-paste action that also does npm by calling npm update. I don't know what's the term, and that will also update all the packages, package logs and everything, and do the same PR. That will work. Just saying, so in case that if we don't use that, I think that's interesting to know, to see what we can do with in action to create PRs like this. Could be nice, even for automating the format, for instance. The things I've been doing, which is removing the usings and the spaces and all the rules that we have in the editor settings. Maybe we could have a thing that every week we run it and create a PR to just make it automatically clean. So that's just some idea of automation. It's not. Because the Thunderbot is still broken. Cool. Questions, comments? By the way, Zoltan has started to integrate Renovate, which is the same thing as the Thunderbot, but using a different service. Something that we used by the past for something else. I don't remember what. Maybe for security fixes. And it's doing more than just .NET, but Docker versions. Is it updating ASP.NET correctly? Let's see. I don't see the changes here.
It's not even updating the file.
No, but maybe because it's a dry run mode. I really don't see that, but I'd like to know how it's updating ASP.NET Core. Oh, this is Cerebral. But it's not. No, maybe it's not. Okay. Yep, so just, it's interesting. Cool. Well, see you on Thursday.
See you. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.